Hey guys, welcome to the 2019 Lexus GSF. Today I'm in a 10th anniversary F Edition GSF. We have a different interior, as you can see. Lexus has had a little bit of fun with this one. We've got some blues and whites and contrast stitching on these very, very special seats. Cool little bits of suede Alcantara throughout. It's an interesting interior, not my favorite, but I think it looks cool, and it's nice, always nice to see Lexus having a little bit of fun. Only 100 of these 10th anniversary GSFs will be made and brought to the United States. It's also painted in matte Nebula Gray, which is amazing to look at and probably less amazing to live with because it's a matte color and you can't polish it or really do a whole lot with it, but it looks really cool on this car and really brings out some of the lines. It's a gorgeous, gorgeous color with these black BBS wheels and the blue brakes. It's pretty special. So I haven't had a GSF on the street. I've only driven these on track. I know, boo-hoo, first world problems. But this is one of my favorite performance sedans. It's actually my favorite performance sedan. And it's really one of the only ones left with a naturally aspirated V8. All the reviews kind of say the same thing about this car. It's phenomenal, and I tend to agree. If I can just find the trunk button, here we go. It's practical, it's great, it's a Lexus, it's going to be reliable, it's smooth, it's incredibly comfortable for the amount of performance and mechanical grip that it puts down. And I think it looks good. It has really nice proportions. The styling is still conservative without being too crazy. They haven't gone full out with a Terminator grille on this one. And size-wise, this kind of squeezes in between the M3 and the M5 as far as backseat room and creature comforts. It's a really quite a nice car and very nice interior in here. These back seats are, you've got tons of space to put your feet, lots of leg room, and the GS platform overall has always been a really nice sweet spot in my mind. Every iteration of the GS, I think, is a very, very nice luxury sporty sedan. All right, let's take it for a drive. We're a little bit traction limited today. It's 40 degrees and kind of greasy out, so we'll be leaving traction control on for the most part, but take my word that this thing drifts and slides like a dream when you want it to. So getting inside here, we have really nice ergonomics. All the buttons that you use normally and would want quick access to are visible to your eye from the driver's position, like the heated steering wheel, the heated seats. It's freezing out, so that's what comes to mind first. And then you have a number of drive modes here. You almost have kind of too many drive modes, but you have Eco, Normal, Custom, Sport, and Sport Plus. In normal mode, it's great. It's perfectly comfortable. Sport and Sport Plus let the revs hang a little bit higher, increases your throttle linearity, and you get a little bit more of an exhaust note in the cabin. It's a little bit louder, a little bit more aggressive. You also have a torque vectoring differential. You can switch between slalom, which is kind of back road mode, and track, which is a lot of fun. And then, of course, a snow mode, which will give you back your throttle resolution. So that's always nice. If you're in Sport Plus and you don't want the throttle to be an on-off switch, hit that snow mode button. And a little trick I learned from the YouTube comments the other day. Otherwise, a really pretty awesome interior. You know, you guys know, if you've seen any of my reviews on Lexuses in the past, you know my thoughts on the infotainment. It's a little bit clumsy, but once you live with it for a little while, you get used to it. You kind of learn the muscle memory. I think I do prefer the mouse over the touchpad just because there's a little bit more resistance and, I don't know, I'd say communication when you're on the move and on the road and everything's bouncing around and moving. But they're all pretty clunky, and this one doesn't have Apple CarPlay or Android Auto, so there's no way to see your phone. Lexus needs to catch the GSF up to that. But besides those things, this is a really phenomenal car, and the rest of this GSF makes up for those shortcomings. Lexus gets so much right with this car. The V8, the transmission, everything is just so well matched. The powertrain in this is truly an intoxicating unit. And this 8-speed automatic works quite well. It finds the right gear. It does a very, very nice job. And I'll say that when there's traction. Today we're going to be hunting around a little bit because we're going to have some wheel spin. Tried my best to warm the tires up before starting this video today, and I think we'll probably be okay. Let's throw it into sport mode. We'll do TVD into track. Maybe we'll do a little bit of traction off. We'll see. I love the way this thing puts its power down. It has so much torque. The way I think of this engine is it's like a more powerful, slightly torquier E92 M3 engine with just a little bit more creaminess and smoothness from that Lexus balancing and Lexus engineering. When you put the transmission into manual mode, you get almost immediate downshifts. That's hugely satisfying. Quite a bit of deceleration in those gears too. The gearing in this GSF is pretty tall. Second gear tops out at about 70 miles an hour. So if you really want to enjoy that V8, it's a little bit of a challenge on public roads, trying to avoid speeding, but for the most part this week, it hasn't really been an issue or a huge complaint. It's just something to note with this car. Little burble from the exhaust back there. I'm surprised at how much louder it is in sport mode. Let's calm down. We'll put it into normal driving, put our TVD back into normal, whatever that is, standard. And the GSF turns into a total comfortable luxury sedan. The ride quality is awesome. No adjustable dampers in this, I think. Correct me if I'm wrong in the comments, but I believe they're just standard Sachs dampers. And they do a really nice job of keeping the car very well composed over bumps and rough terrain. This thing is incredibly comfortable on a daily commute, on a daily drive. Brake pedal has an awesome feel to it. This is a really, really nice, you get great inputs from this car. The steering has a nice amount of communication. It's not super communicative, it's still a little bit numb and a little bit Lexus-like, but through the chassis you know exactly what's going on through the front end. Brake pedal's awesome feel. This reminds me a lot of the RCF. I mean, there's a lot of the same running gear going on here. It's a little bit more refined, however, and a little bit more massaged over, which I think is quite nice. The 8-speed is so smooth when you're just cruising around. Keeps it under 2,000 RPM in kind of a lazy fashion. And it's a 2-stage accelerator pedal, so the transmission does a really nice job finding that gear that utilizes the torque, and it doesn't over rev when you're trying to downshift and pass someone. Radar guided cruise control works quite well, easy to turn on, turn off with your classic Toyota Lexus cruise control stock. You do have a heads-up display. I don't really like heads-up displays, so I don't turn them on usually for videos, but that's just me. It's nice and bright, you can adjust it, it's easy to see. This is just a more refined, nicer to drive RCF, and it's true. It's a special car. This is a cool offering from Lexus, and it's pretty amazing that they still make it. Not sure how much longer these F cars will be around in these V8 naturally aspirated forms, but while they are, I think it's nice to enjoy them, and you can actually get one of these used for at a pretty good price. I've been thinking about it in the future for something. Be a nice daily driver. What else is there to say about this GSF? Decent turning radius. From a drivability standpoint, there's not a lot to hate about this car. It's, you know, at 10/10ths, it's maybe not the most exciting and thrilling thing to drive. Turning off traction control completely has been a little bit of a challenge for me, but you can drift these things all day long. There's some trickery and ways to do it. I think on track, these are pretty impressive as they are from stock, and you can go online and see videos of these things being tracked. They're very, very good. They're super well balanced. The wheelbase is long. It's a really, really nice package and has a ton of performance capability. And then on the daily drive, you can sit back and truly enjoy the comfort of the GSF without really any shortcomings, except for maybe price. And I don't know, gas mileage has actually been pretty decent for me this week too. Of course, I've been driving and filming videos on it all week and full into the throttle, but I think this is rated for 24 miles to the gallon on the highway and 16 in the city. So depending on what type of driving you do, you should be averaging around 20, 21, 22 in this. Not too bad. Takes premium fuel. Premium sedan. Yeah. I like this thing a lot, if you can't tell. Give it one more blast here. Nice Focus RS on winter tires. Yeah, this is definitely my favorite F performance car iteration that Lexus has ever put together. They've all been really good. The ISF was phenomenal. The RCF is surprisingly fun and really, really good to use. And I really like that car, except this GSF is just a little bit more usable, a little bit more practical, and that's probably what would swing me in this direction. But, you know, if you don't have people to haul around or you don't really need a big back seat, the RCF is a pretty awesome proposition. A little bit more raw, a little bit more brutal than this GSF. This is a little bit more of a refined, comfortable experience, but they're all pretty darn good, if I'm honest. So, guys, that's going to sum it up on the GSF. A lot of high points, a few little complaints, but really this is overall a pretty great package. Jury's out on the interior. I'll let you guys judge the looks. I think some people really like it, and some people are kind of a little bit lukewarm to it, but I will say the blue carbon fiber is pretty badass. So, thanks for watching, guys. That's the end of the GSF reviews for this week. Just going to do one video on this. And I'm getting married next week, so, oops. Uh-oh. Getting into someone else's seating position here. I'm getting married next week, so I have lots of wedding things to do, and don't really have time to upload many more YouTube videos. There is a Honda Pilot coming in on Monday, so I will be sure to do some videos on that. Been wanting to get one of those in for quite a while. But for now, that's it on the GSF. Be sure to go to Winding Road to check out the POV day drive and night drive on this thing. That'll be a fun video also. And then probably this might be the end of performance cars for the year, because it's going to get cold. Everything's going to be four-wheel drive or front-wheel drive and on winter tires or all seasons. So that's it for this one. Thanks for watching, guys. We'll see you later.